Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of the podcast Unbox Your Curiosity. I'm your host, Christiane Zhao. And this is the space where we challenge our thoughts in tech, talent, and culture. So today we're going to dive deep into a very important topic, talent transformation in the automotive industry. There are lots of things that are happening right now in the automotive industry, electrics, autonomous, AI-powered, digitals, and behind all those change in tech, there's actually a workforce in the back that is evolving very quickly. In order to help us to understand all of it, today we're joining with a very experienced expert that have been through all those shifts. We are here to welcome Daniel Niederberger, the CEO of NewMobilityBusiness. Actually, Daniel has more than 21 years of experience in the automotive industry, so you definitely have worked with lots of different people and see through lots of changes.
Thank you, Christiane, for inviting me here, and I think I'm really happy to be here and talk about some future topics about the automotive.
That sounds great. So let's start with our first questions. When it comes to the talents in the automotive industry, do you think it is more important to rescue the existing talents, or we need to hire new digital native talents in order to help us to benefit the most in this digital transformation process?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. Many people ask me. In the end, it will be both. You know, we will have a lot of staff already, which is also qualified in maybe some older topics, but also has been qualified for next topics on top. I think about afternoon sessions and so on. But there will be also a strong need for new talents, especially in the new areas. If we talk about the pure automotive stuff, it's for sure battery technology, electric drive. It's the huge area of autonomous driving, if you think about programming and sensor fusion and the responder testing stuff. And for sure also to combine all that, it will be the AI level, which will be also affecting the companies to a huge extent. And to all that, we will need a lot of knowledge and support, and talents are not so much available on the market because of either technical stuff to study is for many people difficult. On the other hand, maybe the topics are still that new. Think about AI and so on. There's not so much on the market. So people really need to come in, qualify, and also there will be a strong need in competences in that areas in the next years.
That sounds amazing. You mentioned the word AI. Nowadays, we are seeing actually more automotive players in there that are more think like a tech company when it comes to talent acquisitions. So let's talk a little bit about the elephant in the room, AI. And when we were both at Frankfurt School, we have actually done the case studies on Tesla, that we actually get learn that Tesla is actually not an automotive company, but more of a data company. So when it comes to the German automotive scenes, what do you think about it? Do you think AI is really a change maker, or do you think it's just a buzzword that exists out there that's the hype?
No, it's not on hype. Definitely not. It may be, it's a little bit overhyped maybe in some months, but in the end, if we look deeper, it's really a fundamental change that we can see here. Because AI basically combines all the stuff we had before. Think about the programming, the testing, and for sure also the learning stuff. We can learn much more faster. We can automate things. We can also combine things. We can also make teams more effective and more innovative in some ways. Think about collaboration across different functions or different industries. If we also talk about the collaborations, automotive and outside, so for example, startups and so on. And this will have, in the end, a big impact on the overall value chain, how the value is created. And this will be massively supported and maybe also leveraged by AI. Currently, we have a lot of experimenting and prototyping on single things in the market. So think about product development. You get some suggestions of maybe best practices. You get an optimized knowledge management, which is really fine, and people are really working with it and tangle it. But in the end, it will also affect the whole value chain as said, and also think about the leadership structures need to change, because managing people will be more different in the future if we have a broader use of AI.
That's very clear. And when you compare with the US automotive industry and then the German automotive industry, do you think legislation is there to play a very big role when it comes to implementing AI?
Yeah, we have for sure in Europe different AI legislations, also DSGVO regulation, which is a difficult stuff to handle, and people for sure who are also European companies here need to regard this into their solution building. But also, if you think about Asia and US, there's different regulation frameworks for AI. So this is really a challenge if you think about R&D across the globe, or also production facilities around the globe, where to use and apply to what AI framework. This is really a challenge at the moment, where you also need a very good legal AI department, which is also very few seen currently at the companies.
Mm-hmm. And as mentioned, I think one of the great reasons why we invited you here is because you have a wealth of experience and you see through all the shift, like how the traditional automotive industry worked, and now you're helping all those auto players to reshape and introduce like new innovation with digitalization. Probably one interesting question that popped up in my mind is, how do we enable talent transformation when we are having multiple different generations working within the same company? So we have like very, very experienced engineer, but we also have the digital native that's joining the workforce very recently. How do you think those groups can work very seamlessly with each other and learn and benefit from each other, rather than really, annoy each other?
Yeah, that's a good point. Yes, I see there are many cases at the companies, because we have a huge gap also in the age of the workforce, and usually the best place is to bring them together and let them add up their knowledge and values. So basically, you have maybe more experienced competences from older colleagues in the core automotive business stuff. You have more knowledge at software and digital stuff, maybe at younger generations, not necessarily, but in many times. And this need to be combined in cross-functional teams. This is really the big thing here. Manage cross-functional teams with a different legacy of knowledge, of experience, and of the functions you are in. And then you combine basically the best elements from each other. I've seen many companies really doing relatively good in that, combining also older stuff, newer stuff, and also providing younger colleagues maybe the platform to develop more AI pilots, which can be also then adjusted and used maybe with more legacy business models, for example, or the vice versa. We can also do here some more new business models, and think about also the sensor fusion and updatability of cars, who will be massively impacted by AI solutions. And this is also a topic where you need the cross-functional expertise.
That sounds great. And where do you see the challenge in, let's say, blending into different generations when there's like huge gap, like 30 years?
Yeah, that's for sure a different approach. Not only what we talked about, Gen Y, Gen Z, and so on, to work basically, but also the way of thinking is different. So if you have a more digital mindset and a more AI attitude, this is a different thinking as maybe a more pure experience-driven older employee, so which really needs to also to be moderated. So the moderation, I think, in the companies will play a very, very big role, moderating different age, different competences to bring all the value together. So these must be persons who have really a vast knowledge in technology areas, but also must comply with the peoples and the leaders to get here the best possible output of the colleagues, but also, shape this created vision and mission statement where everybody is working towards one goal. The feeling of uniteness.
I definitely agree. I think especially with the younger generation that's involving and joining the workforce and learn from the more experienced people, having like a common vision is actually the foundations for us to work together and adopt and accept or cherish all the differences that we have. Thank you very much, Daniel, for your fruitful discussions with us. I think just to close up the podcast, I think it's very important to ask you what are the top 3 words you would like to summarize, let's say, the future of the automotive for the next 5 years.
I don't know if it can be summarized in 3 words, but I see here really huge challenges. There will be a lot of change. Software and AI will play maybe the biggest role, and really go for it. Yeah, go for it. Test it in some small pilots. Adjust, learn fast. Integrate all your different colleagues. I think this is the best momentum you can be a leader in the next time.
Thank you very much, and for everyone that's listening, thanks to be part of another episode. If this sparked your curiosity, follow Unbox Your Curiosity and stay tuned as we continue to explore where tech, talent, and culture intersect. Thank you.